guys, my name is Michelle Gray, and as you guys all know, I'm an athletic training intern with the athletic department. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about ACL injuries because that's a common injury that we see in the athletic department, and I'm sure you guys know that that's a common injury among athletes. So, a lot of people have heard of the injury, but have any of you ever had an ACL injury? Yeah. So a lot of people don't know what the ACL actually does, so I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about that before I move on to what the injury actually is and how to recover from it. So ACL actually stands for anterior cruciate ligament, and if you guys see from this thing, I don't want to touch the board, make it move, it's the little ligament in between the femur and the tibia. The femur is the leg bone that runs through the thigh, and the tibia is the one that runs through the calf, and it basically just stabilizes the knee. And as you can see, you can only move your leg back this way, but if the ACL wasn't there, you could actually move your knee this way, and if you didn't also have your ACL and you were rotating, your calf could rotate while your thigh stays here. So basically the ACL prevents more extreme injuries from occurring. So what an ACL injury actually is a tear to that ligament, and it can be partial or complete. So partial meaning it could literally be like a little tear halfway through. Complete is obviously the entire ligament rips in half. And when athletes tear their ACL, they actually will break their patella bone, which is the kneecap, or they will tear their meniscus, which is the tendon right above the tibia. And that's actually what causes the really long recovery time for athletes. So the injury happens when the leg is either straight or bent, and it can happen from running, jumping, or changing directions. And most athletes report that it's actually not painful at all, so it just feels like a pop in the knee, or like your knee is giving way. So how I like to describe it is like when you're a little kid, you just like fall when you run, or like your knee like literally just gives out, but it's a little bit more like awkward than that. You definitely know something's wrong when it happens, but again, apparently there's no pain when it occurs. And if you guys were to tear your ACL today, you would get the traditional surgery, and what that actually is taking tissue graft from either a cadaver, which is somebody who's recently deceased and donates their body to medicine or is an organ donor, or you use the tissue from your own body. So typically you'll use it from your own body unless there's something very wrong with your other muscles, and you'll use the tissue from muscles that really have no use to you. So if you guys want to do an example, if you put your arm out straight like this and kind of bend your arm slightly up and connect your thumb to your pinky finger, if you have this tendon sticking out, that actually means that you have a muscle in your arm that you don't use anymore. Not everybody has it, but some people do, and that will be a typical muscle that you can use if you get cosmetic surgery or whatever else. But there's more muscles like that in your hamstring and your patella bone that you'll use for an ACL injury. So athletes will typically use the hamstring since they have more muscle up there and they can recover faster from that. But if you aren't an athlete, they'll use the patella tendon, which is right behind the kneecap, but apparently that's a lot more painful. So you want to try to get some muscle in your hamstring in case you tear your ACL. And how the surgery actually works is you'll make small incisions into the knee, and then you'll drill holes into the femur and the tibia, which I told you guys before is the upper leg bone and the lower leg bone, and they will insert the tissue graft that way. Now I'll tell you guys a little bit about a new surgery that they're researching. So it's actually a clinical trial, and if you guys don't know what a clinical trial is, it's basically just a surgery that some like teaching hospitals or research hospitals do, that the surgery hasn't been approved by the FDA, but they're looking to get it approved. So if you actually want this method, you have to be approved by those doctors to get it. You can't just go anywhere right now and ask for this because it hasn't been approved to be a surgery that anybody can get yet because there isn't enough research. And this is called the bridge enhanced technique, and how this works is you stick a scaffold in between the tear. So what that means is you actually leave the existing ACL tissue in there instead of taking the tissue that I explained before from somewhere else. you just leave the tear in and use the scaffold so that the ACL tissue hopefully repairs itself. And this is supposed to be less invasive and take less recovery time. So they're thinking athletes might want this so they can get back to their sport faster. But like I told you guys during my poster presentation, a lot of the football players and high techs that I know that have torn their ACL would prefer the traditional method over this, just because they want to make sure that it recovers completely, because this method, since you're leaving the tear open, it could definitely either tear more or tear again while it's recovering, so you need to think about that if you're considering this. So now we'll move into the rehabilitation process, and rehab is absolutely necessary if you want to have full range of motion and muscle size and strength by the end or when you're cleared from your ACL surgery. And another thing that's important for athletes is the cardiovascular fitness. So if you're out for 6 months and you try to get back to your sport, it's going to be pretty hard unless you do rehab. And what you'll wear when you do rehab is the knee braces and the knee sleeve. So I wanted to bring that in today, but like I was telling you guys before, this brace actually runs at like $700. This one runs at like $500 to $400, $500, and there's just not a lot of them in the athletic department right now. But this will be the brace that you use right after surgery. It basically covers the entire leg and just holds everything into place. Once you get cleared by your physical therapist to go back to your sport, but you're not completely cleared yet, you'll wear the activity brace because that gives you more range of motion. And once you're 100% cleared, you'll wear knee sleeves just to hold the knee in place and prevent an injury from occurring right away after you went through that like 6 months of rehab. So now if you guys want to stand up, I'll show you guys some rehabs that we do with the people who tear their ACLs. So we'll just do like 3 or 4 of each of these since time. But okay, calf raises, I'm sure you guys know how to do these. You literally just stand on your tippy toes and come back down. So, pretty easy. And now we'll do the quarter squats. So you stand shoulder length apart and you literally come down like this much. And I know you guys are probably like, this isn't doing anything, but for somebody who's just tore their ACL, you have to think they have like no range of motion in their knee, so that's going to be very hard. And something they also do are lunges. So if you tear your ACL and, for example, your left knee, that's where you'll do the lunge, and you don't want your knee to come past your upper foot, and you just do it on your bad knee again. This is really hard for people who just had surgery, but not really for us. Knee flexion, you hold a table and you literally pull your knee back. Again, they have no range of motion, so that's pretty hard for them. And a calf stretch, you'll put your good foot or your good foot forward and then stretch your calf. I don't feel anything when I do this, but apparently they do after surgery. And that's pretty much the most popular rehab exercises that they'll do. So in conclusion, just so you guys are aware, again, ACL injuries are an injury to the knee and the ligament behind the knee. It happens in high contact sports, so you'll see it a lot in football players, runners, soccer players, and other sports along those lines. Surgery absolutely needs to be done if you want to make a full recovery, but you don't have to have surgery. Some older patients will actually opt to not do surgery and just live with, not having range of motion in their knee. But if you want to have full recovery, you definitely need surgery to make that happen. And again, rehabilitation is so important, because if you have surgery and you don't do rehab, you're not going to be able to walk normally again unless you go through the process and get cleared through surgery through that. So here's my picture cited. It's my work cited. Do you guys have any questions for me?
How common is our ACL injuries just with the department?
They're pretty, it depends on the sport. So football players, you'll typically see 3 or 4 happen a year, okay, which seems like it's pretty common, but there's also 100 of them on the team. Right. So, but for the cheerleaders that I work with, not really. The girl that actually tore her ACL tore it playing flag football. So it just really depends on the sport, and it depends on the year, it depends on the person. So there's really no statistics for that.
It doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah, apparently it just feels very odd and like I said, like it's a weird sensation, but apparently it's not painful. Like after surgery it will be pretty painful, but like when the injury actually happens.
Well, I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Could you explain what you meant by that? Because
Okay.
you said if it pops out, do you have a muscle that you don't?
Do you have like the tendon right here? There's like a tendon right here that will pop up if you attach your thumb to your pinky finger and lift it like your hand slightly up. But if you don't have that, it just means that you don't have that muscle running. So
What muscle? Oh, do you have it?
yeah, a lot of people do. It's like rare that you don't. Like it doesn't look like you do.
It's rare that you don't?
It's but
Can you have it in one arm and not the other?
yeah. But like again, like it has no use, so if you don't have it, it's not a big deal. But they can just use that during surgeries.
There's a video
I think I have it in my
on
right,
Facebook
but not
about
my
how
left.
it's like evolutionary. Like,
Yeah.
people don't have it and evolved or something.
Yeah.
So I'm halfway evolved. So I have it in my right, but not my left.
Really? That's so cool.
I think if I'm looking at the right thing.
If I'm looking at the right
Yeah,
one.
it's just like.